Hey, good morning and welcome. Welcome to the program. It is a Wednesday. It is April the 1st. Did you realize that? It is April Fool's Day. I hope you have a great day today. We got a fun show today. We're going to talk Texas Longhorn athletics with the voice of UT, the voice of the UIL. Craig Way is going to join us a little later on. We got a lot of things to get to on the program today. First of all, I think we all should get in line to purchase our playoff tickets for the Texas Rangers. You're laughing. Lark Smith alongside. You're laughing.
Yeah, you're a little premature, I think, sir.
They're 4-1.
Okay.
All on the road. What a great road trip this is. I mean, they lost opening day and haven't lost since. 5
games in, and you're already selling playoff tickets.
You know what? Yeah.
You're the best of the hucksters out there.
Yes,
I swear.
I'm all about it. Let's do it. Let's go. They got a great pitching staff.
That we knew last year.
Yeah.
They had great defense last year, just couldn't hit the ball. Of course, they got rid of Adolis, and now maybe they can hit the ball. Did you see what he did against the Rangers with Philly?
I did not.
He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Okay. Well, they're 4-1. That's the bottom line. They're off and running. So, Astros won. They're keeping pace.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah. Both of them played this morning or this afternoon. The Rangers and Baltimore kick off at 11:35 our time over in Baltimore. It's getaway day.
Yeah, it is an afternoon game.
Yeah,
there,
and the Astros,
get out of town.
Yeah, and the Astros, their first pitch is at 1:10 at home against Boston today. Going for the sweep. Got the brooms out.
Basketball, Baylor basketball is in Las Vegas.
That just sounds strange to me.
I mean, come on now. Second annual college basketball crown. I'm all about it. Why didn't we get that assignment?
Well, you just had to ask somebody, I guess. We could have been doing this show from Vegas.
I think that would have been most appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could have been out there. They play, you better brew the coffee. They play at 9:30 tonight.
Yes.
Against the Golden Gophers of Minnesota.
Yeah, first game is Oklahoma and Colorado. That tournament almost sounds like it was put together by Brett Yarmark, because there's a lot of former and current Big 12 teams involved in that. Oklahoma, Colorado, West Virginia's playing in it tomorrow. So there's a whole lot of Big 12 teams involved there, and I think Brett Yormark had something to do with that. I could be wrong.
Did you see Stephanie hand me my cup of coffee?
Uh-huh.
Was that on?
No, we saw you just reach out and touch.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad you have your coffee.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, after we broke the coffee pot this morning, that's a whole nother
That's not
story.
even an April Fool's joke, huh?
No, it's not. Baseball last night. You did a softball game yesterday, right?
Yes, I did a softball doubleheader at Hill College between Hill and Vernon. And Vernon came on top 11-5 and 8-0. The 8-0 game was a mercy rule game. Vernon did something that I haven't seen before, because I don't call a lot of softball games. But they had the bases loaded with nobody out.
Yeah.
And they bunt. And, of course, the catcher standing on home plate waiting for the pitcher to deliver the ball to her. Well, she gets to her late. She slides in. The girl from third slides in. Safe. First run. Next batter does the same thing.
Bunts it back to the mound?
Yeah.
Or the circle?
It doesn't go back to the circle. It's just it's well-placed bunt.
Yeah.
But if, the catcher takes 2 steps out, picks up the ball, and maybe steps on the plate, she might win, that race. I don't know.
Right.
But the next batter does the same thing.
Wow.
The next batter does the same thing.
3 in a row.
3 in a row. And I'm sitting there going, how do you defend this?
Right.
And after a while, I figured, just tell your
Clearly
catcher to
you
pick.
don't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You just tell your catcher, pick up the ball, throw it to first, and get it out and take that circle out of there.
Yeah.
Whatever they're doing. But that was kind of an unusual thing I'd never seen before. Like I say, I don't call that many softball games, but that scored 3 runs, just bang, bang, bang.
Well, on the baseball side, Tarleton was in town, and they claim a victory over the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
They played well.
Yeah.
Tip your hat to Tarleton. And the 2 local kids
from China Springs. Yeah.
They had big days.
Yeah.
Big days. One had a 3-run home run.
That was Cage.
Yep.
Yeah. He played at McLennan last year.
Yep. And, they both had big days, and I'm sure family was happy.
Sure.
But, they played really well. Now, they beat they beat the Bears twice, and they've knocked off the number 2 team in the country, the Longhorns.
Yeah, they've knocked off Texas.
So and they're 20-8. I mean, and they're a good club. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, but remember, we've always said those midweek games, especially to a lot of those D1 teams, that doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean,
but it needs to mean a whole lot when you're trying to chase
a
spot in postseason.
True. But that 2005 team at Baylor that went to the College World Series.
Then, but that's a different deal. This is
I understand.
Totally different. This team needs to stack wins.
I understand.
And they'd won 4 in a row. They got BYU coming in Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, weather permitting.
Weather permitting.
And I was kind of snooping around. I don't know what they're going to do with the Saturday game. Right now, it's still Saturday, obviously. But when you're talking about an 80 or 90% chance of rain, soaking rain all day long, I don't know.
But you're talking about Texas weathermen. They don't get this stuff right.
Okay. I'm just telling you, I don't think there's going to be baseball on Saturday. That is my guess.
Hey, well, that's the reason why you have artificial surface, so you can,
But we don't.
You don't have. I thought Baylor had artificial turf.
No, it is natural grass.
Never mind.
Yeah. Where have you been?
Out at MCC.
Okay. Yeah. No, they have. It's an all now behind home plate.
Yeah.
They've got.
Okay.
They got the field turf.
Yeah.
But no, it's a natural.
Okay.
So yeah, they still got to drag the tarp out and all that, but we'll see what happens. But I think tomorrow night's weather's going to be fine. Late tomorrow night's supposed to be a system come through.
That's what I saw.
Perfect day Friday, but Saturday does not look good. So I don't know what you do with it. But not my job to decide.
Thank you.
But I just don't see. And you need to play these games.
Absolutely.
You need again. This is resume building, and I saw one of the there's several of them, but I saw one of the
predictions.
Prediction has Baylor as one of the first 4 out after their weekend in Houston. So
I'm surprised they're even in that position.
Well, they've got the number 9 schedule in the country. They're still a top 40, top 45 RPI.
Okay.
They played a really difficult schedule.
Yeah.
They have played a really difficult schedule, and got a quality win against Ole Miss. And so anyway, just suffices to say you've got to stack wins. You need wins. It's that simple. And that means Tuesdays are just, in my mind, just as important as those weekend series. We'll talk to Craig about that. They're in great shape with the Texas Longhorns, number 2 team in the country. Maybe number 1 or number 2 when it comes to the top 8. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But he understands that stacking win thing. I mean,
sure.
Horns have been there before, so we'll talk about that coming up a little later on. What else is going on in the wide world? McLennan softball. They just get. Chris Berry's team just continues to play well, don't they?
Yeah, they played at Weatherford yesterday and won 11-1 and 3-2. They will finish off that series, I think, tomorrow at Bosque River Ballpark. They're kind of trying to beat the weather and also Easter weekend. Temple is playing today at Grayson.
Okay.
Their first 2 games of that 4-game series.
So there's a lot of stuff going on,
Absolutely.
And everybody's going to dart and dash and dive around the weather, and we'll see how it goes.
Do we want to mention UMHB golf here?
Sure, absolutely. Congratulations to Flash Cox. He was on our show last week.
Yeah. Jordan's team goes to Tennessee, Dixon, Tennessee, to the Greystone Classic and wins the event by 21 strokes.
Yes, they ran away with it.
You got a team that shot under 20 or 22 under for the tournament. You got the medalist, Lucas Latimer, who shot a final round 64.
How about that?
Yeah,
64.
To win the tournament. And their next event's going to be April the 11th out at White Bluff. That is the West Regional Invitation.
Yeah, 11th and 12th out at White Bluff. So if you want to see some great collegiate golf, they'll have that going on April the 11th and 12th. So there you go. Let's see. A lot of high school baseball. We'll get into that a little later on, but there were some really good ball games last night.
Also high school soccer last night.
Yes, that's what we need to get to that.
Yeah. La Vega won. So La Vega's in the state semifinals. They beat Navasota 2-1.
Good stuff.
They're going to take on Marble Falls in the next round. We don't know time or place for that one yet. But Lorena was knocked out by Brookshire Royal 5-1, but still a great season. for the Lorena softball
question.
team to get into the regional championships.
So now it's down to one. It's La Vega.
Yeah,
that's all. That's
the
still
La Vega
stable.
boys team.
So okay, all right. We are presented by Toll King. Gary Hoffman and his team do a terrific job. 24-hour a day roadside assistance. Check them out. You can check them out on Facebook. But man, I would highly recommend if you need 24-hour roadside assistance, reach out to Toll King. It's a family-owned and operated business. We do appreciate Toll King for being our presenting sponsor of the program. We'll talk more about them coming up later in the show. All right, we are off and running. Coming up next, we're going to visit with the voice of the Texas Longhorns, the voice of the UIL, Craig Way. That's next on the program.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycat mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Is your roof ready for the next Texas storm? Don't wait for a small leak to become a big problem. Call JK Roofing of Waco. Whether you need roof repair, a full replacement, or a professional inspection, JK Roofing has quality workmanship and dependable service you can count on. Locally owned and committed to protecting Central Texas home and businesses. Call JK Roofing today for your free estimate and get the job done right the first time. Call JK Roofing 254-744-2211. JK Roofing of Waco. Strong roofs, honest work, and peace of mind.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Toll King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Toll King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Toll King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Toll King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple is your one-stop shop for custom window treatment, transforming your vision into reality. Choose from a selection of shades, blinds, shutters, and curtains. Bumblebee Blinds stands behind our service and products, ensuring peace of mind with our trusted warranty. Call Bumblebee Blinds today to schedule your design consultation. Bumblebee Blinds, simplifying window treatments one covering at a time. BumblebeeBlinds.com.
And you're back with us on this Wednesday morning. We're brought to you in part by Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers, 18th and Herring. They're open Monday through Friday from 10 until 4:30, Saturday 10 until 2 o'clock. Best burger in Waco. They make it just the way you like it, and they don't make it until you order said burger. Fries, tots, onion rings, soft drinks, shakes, you name it. They got. Doesn't that sound good? 18th and Herring, open Monday through Friday, 10 until 4:30, Saturday, 10 until 2. Stop by, say hello to David, Perry, Daryl, Maria, the entire crew. Boy, you'll be glad you did. Let's welcome into the program the voice of the Texas Longhorns, the voice of UIL, Craig Way. Good morning, Craig. How are you?
Well, I was doing fine until you mentioned Double R. Now I'm hungry all over again and wanting to drop by and see David and grab a bacon cheeseburger. But other than that, yes, I'm doing well, thanks.
And you've had Double R's food before, and I think it kind of rates up there at the top for you as well, doesn't it?
You directed me to that years ago, and I just completely locked into it. Love the place. Listen, my wife Linda tells me, when we have to drive north of the Metroplex, she says, what time is our departure time, and can we position it to be able to go buy Double R and pick up to go if nothing else? So yeah, we try to do it. Love me some Double R.
All right, so real quick, I just wanted to pass this along. I know you were probably in transit or whatever. But the Dodgers, the Los Angeles Dodgers, beat Cleveland last night, and Max Muncy left the yard, a home run. He was 2 for 3, scored a run, drove in a run. I know that being a huge LA Dodger fan makes you smile this morning.
And that's Linda's favorite player. She loves Muncy. We have a dog who's 13 years old, and she's doing okay, but she's definitely in the autumn to winter years of her life. So Linda has decreed that whenever our miniature schnauzer, Sophie, crosses the Rainbow Bridge, the next dog we get, we're going to name Muncy. She loves Max, big fans. And I always think about, and you and I've talked about this,
right?
When he was playing at Baylor, I'll never forget seeing him hit one into the river. I saw him absolutely just destroy a ball that went into the brasses on a couple of hops. And but I know he did that more than once. You got to see him do that more than once. And so, yeah, as a Dodger fan, I enjoy seeing Max at the plate.
And when we say Craig Way's a Dodger fan, we're not saying, oh, he checks the box scores. I've seen Craig go, okay, how do I get there? It's playoff time. You've done that on several occasions, haven't you? You've gone on, hunted down airline tickets, and you have just bolted from Austin, Texas to get to Los Angeles to watch playoff games.
I have. It's fun, and when it's worked, I had several bucket list things because I've been, like you, a huge baseball fan, and going to the World Series would be one. I did go to Game 4 of the 2011 World Series when the Rangers beat the Cardinals in Game 4. I did go to that in Arlington, but there's something about a bucket list seeing your team play in the World Series. And I joke with people, Linda and I have been married almost 4 years now, but I tell people I proselytized her into becoming a Dodger fan. And the way I did that was I took her to 2 World Series games. One at Dodger Stadium when they lost Game 5 to Boston in 2018 when Mookie Betts was still playing for the Red Sox. And then during the pandemic, we were able to land tickets. We purchased them from our good mutual friend, Greg Tepper, from Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Tep is a season ticket holder for the Rangers. And during that pandemic, they were able to buy a pre-sale of tickets to the World Series. And so he texted me and said, listen, I've got 4 tickets for Game 1. My brother and I have tickets for the other home games. We intend to fund our children's future college education with the proceeds from that. But I will sell you 4 tickets to Game 1 if you want them. And I said, oh, do I? And so we went Game 1. We sat about 11 rows behind the plate between home plate and third base. And of course, that was the pandemic here. We were all masked up and everything, but we had a great time. So yeah, it's when I've been able to check those things off the bucket list for sure. And it's fun, but I love baseball. We go down and we'll see the Astros play, or we'll go up to Arlington and we'll see the Rangers play. We do that every year to see a ball game or two. And when we're on the road, we've seen the Braves going on vacation in North Carolina. Hey, today here in Phoenix, Arizona, when I get done with some morning duties, my producer Cameron Parker and I are going over to Chase Field. There's a businessman special at 12:40 between the Diamondbacks and the Tigers, and we've got tickets. So we're going to go this afternoon.
Now, hang on. You've got a talk show to do this afternoon, don't you?
I'm doing a segment. I'm doing a segment of my show.
How dare I try to get work to take precedent over fun, right?
When you're on the road with a basketball team or a baseball team, it's a little bit easier just logistically for the producer to do the show. And so Jay Kerman, my producer, fills in when I'm out. However, I always do a segment or two of the show from the road, and it's done just like what we're doing right now. I'll do it by Zoom, StreamYard, whatever, and do a couple of segments of the show. But it's easier for him to fill in the slots and get other people to do it than for me to do an entire show like this.
I got to know. I mean, you've been to the old ballpark in Arlington. You may have even been to the old Turnpike Stadium. I don't know. Have you? Yeah. Okay. So the new ballpark, I love the fact that it's got a roof. I love the fact that, when it's August, it's 72 degrees inside. What is your thoughts on that ballpark compared to the ballpark in Arlington?
Well, it's difficult to make a comparison between the two because it's two completely different fan experiences, I believe. I'll always remember this. My late wife, Laurie, when we were married for 30 years before she passed away from cancer 10 years ago, but she used to like to go to the Astrodome because she said, it's nice and cool and I can sit in there and have a soft drink and a hot dog and all this kind of stuff. And it was a different fan experience. You didn't have to worry about the outside elements. But if you're a baseball fan, as the two of us are, you love to be able to sit out there and whatever, have a hot dog, peanuts, or a soft drink or a malted beverage, whatever it is, your choices, and you love the atmosphere of the ballpark. That's part of the reason why I love going to minor league games. Love going to Dell Diamond. Love going when we're on vacation. We'll go see the Myrtle Beach Pelicans play or the Greensboro Grasshoppers in my hometown, because we like getting the ballpark experience, and it's two different experiences. I look at it this way: Globe Life is for fan comfort and convenience, and with it being climate controlled and all that other kind of stuff. The older ballpark, what is now called Choctaw Stadium, I guess, that one, and even before that, the old Arlington Stadium, that's about being a baseball fan. That's about being at the ballpark. Now, I will tell you this: in my advancing years, I have grown to appreciate the comforts of the indoor facility. I remember once, about probably around 2016, 2017, I took my two sons to a Rangers game against, I think, the White Sox. And we were there at the ballpark in Arlington. And it was so brutally hot. I was like, I must be getting old. I don't think I can do this much longer, So there was some of that involved in it. I've been to all but 5 of the major league parks that were constructed between 1970 and now. Old and new. I've been to the old Three Rivers Stadium, the old Riverfront, the old Veterans Stadium, and I've been to the replacement ballparks for a couple of those, the old Yankee Stadium. But there's that great phrase about you can't beat fun at the ballpark. And I would add to that, it's even more enjoyable if it works out climate-wise. And I heard you talking about the possibility of stormy weather in the Centex this weekend affecting the Baylor BYU series. And that's, makes it difficult if the weather is a factor. That is the one huge factor for the Big 12 tournament. And I know that the Big 12 Conference hangs its hat on that and has in the past. I know they're going to surprise out here to Arizona this year, but in the past, used to say, hey, we know every game is going to be able to be played. May not start right on time, depending on the length of the first game, but they'll be able to get all the games in without a weather issue. So that was something they could hang their hat on, and I think they'll be able to do that out here when you get out here, Tom, in May for the Big 12 tournament. Now it may be 108 degrees, but you'll at least be able to get the games in.
Craig, you mentioned the Astrodome. One of my favorite memories of watching a Major League Baseball game, I was in Houston for the High School Coaches Association convention, and things wrapped up on Sunday. It was across the street from the Astrodome, and I walked across the street, went to the ticket office, and I think this was like the game before the Major League Baseball strike. And okay, I asked the girl, I said, I want a ticket in the mezzanine level looking down the third base line. She said, just one ticket? I said, yeah. She gave me a ticket in the middle of the first row in the mezzanine looking straight down the third base line. There was nobody to my right. There was nobody to my left. I went and got nachos and a beer and sat and watched 9 innings of baseball, totally uninterrupted in air-conditioned comfort. I was in heaven.
Yeah, those are good. It's funny. You reminded me of a time I had an experience, not in an indoor ballpark. It was at the old Cleveland Municipal Stadium. We used to call it the Mistake by the Lake. And I was on a trip, and I saw like 8 major league and 1 minor league game just driving all around in 1 week, and or in 9 days, I guess it was. And so I get to Cleveland, and I didn't have any tickets. And Buddy and I walk up there, and we said, hey, can we get 2? And they're like, no, where do you want them? And I said, well, we like them on the first base side if we can, get over there, get a decent ticket. So we paid, I think it was like $8 or whatever. And we were sitting 4 rows from the field behind the dugout on the first base, actually between home plate and the dugout on the first base side there in that 83,000 seat ballpark. And there were about 4,000 people in the park that night. So I do think about that sometimes, especially with the way that ticket prices are for baseball these days.
All right, so here's mine then. If we're all going to do that, the old Arlington Stadium, the original stadium for the Texas Rangers, Doug Rader is the manager. It's a Sunday afternoon, August, maybe even early September. They're, at 73 games out of first place. There's nobody there. We walk up and get in the ticket line, a buddy of mine, and I'm wearing a Baylor T-shirt, and a guy walks up and says, "Hey, I got a couple of tickets. Would you like to buy them?" I said, "Well, where are they?" He goes, "I think you'll like them. They're on the first base side." So for not even face value, I think it was like $10 or something, we sat and our feet were propped up on the dugout of the old Arlington Stadium, the old Turnpike Stadium. And I'm like, you know what? This ain't a bad deal. And you literally could listen to the conversations that were going on inside the dugout. And Doug Rader was none too happy with his ball club that Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, this is not for children. There should not be a child's location, this front row at the old Arlington Stadium. So I've been fortunate enough to see ball games in all three ballparks. And I'll tell you that to me, there's nothing better than the old Arlington State, the Globe Life Arlington, whatever you want to call it, ballpark at Arlington. I just think the new one, Craig, is dark. I mean, you've broadcast from there. I've broadcast from there. I have a lot of trouble picking up the ball. I think it's dark when the roof's closed.
Well, part of the reason that you have a difficult time picking up the ball is because we are just below where the planes fly over the stadium there. I mean, it is at
the underbelly of the plane. You're right.
Astronomically high position. I will tell you this, too, and I think you know this. Most of the major league ballparks in this new age of construction, well, as I like to call it, green seats and lots of suites. And in this new age of ballpark construction, the radio and television broadcasters are way up top. I've been in the press boxes and in the broadcast booths of several of the newer, modern or newer edition major league parks, and they're like that. Our good friend Brian Anderson from TBS, TNT, he's from Georgetown originally, and BA does the Milwaukee Brewers television. And I was coming through with my son once, and he said, "Hey, come on up and see us. I'll leave credentials for you downstairs." And so we did. And then it was way up high. Same thing a couple of years later, they were playing the Nationals in D.C. and Nationals Park. You were way, way up there. If you visit with my baseball broadcast partner, Keith Moreland, he'll tell you he spent 3 years doing the Cubs from 2011 to 2013 on radio. And, of course, Wrigley Field, you're ensconced in that area. Same thing with Fenway Park. You're in pretty close. But in most of the new and modern major league parks, you are at elevation. You're up there pretty high.
Hey, can you hang around? I promise we talk about Texas, and we're going to get to it here in just a second. We gotta get a break here on the program, and then we'll come back and we'll dive into some of this stuff. We are brought to you in part by Lake Waco Golf Club. It's a semi-private facility on the north side of the lake. Beautiful golf course, executive par 3. Got an 18-hole regulation. Superb bar and grill. Just a wonderful place. You need a tee time for this weekend. 254-756-2161, 254-756-2161, or you can check them out online at lakewacogc.com. That's lakewacogc.com. Jones Mitchell's going to join us tomorrow from Lake Waco, and we're going to talk about chipping, bump and runs, flop shots, and all that kind of stuff. We'll do that tomorrow on the program. But today, we want to say thanks to Lake Waco Golf Club for being a part of the program. We will continue with the voice of the Longhorns and the voice of UIL, Craig Way. That's coming up next right here on the program. Since 1996, Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers at 18th and Herring has been serving Waco's best burger. There's nothing better than a delicious burger cooked just the way you like it, with garden fresh toppings on a buttered bun. Add tots, fries, curly fries, or onion rings for a perfect meal. So what are you waiting on? How about Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers today? Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers is open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers. And don't forget to ask about Double R's catering. Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over. Family owned and operated, Jasper's Barbecue is serving up Texas-style barbecue meats and sandwiches and all the fixins. Enjoy mouth-watering brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and don't forget the potato salad and barbecue beans. Located in Waco on Elm Street, right off of I-35, open Tuesday through Saturday 10 until 2 or until the food runs out. Stop by today and enjoy the best barbecue around. Voted one of the best barbecue joints by Texas Monthly. That's Jasper's Barbecue in Waco. You won't leave hungry.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycats mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
And welcome back into the program. It is a Wednesday edition. Thank you so much to Gary Hoffman and his team at Tow King, our presenting sponsor. I've given you this number on several occasions. Go ahead and jot it down. Put it in your phone. Save it. 254-666-5484. 254-666-5484. That's the phone number to Tow King. And they provide 24-hour roadside assistance. I hope you never need it. But if you need it, you need to have the number. So it's 254-666-5484. Family-owned, family-operated. Wonderful people. They've got, I mean, you know what? If you drive a mini bike, or if you drive an 18-wheeler, they got equipment that can help you out. So check them out. All right, we continue from Phoenix, Arizona. Craig Way, and, you know, I mean, I would like to know how many miles you log a year broadcasting Longhorn sports. I would imagine it's more than 10 or 20.
Well, I will tell you this. The month of March was rather nuts, more nuts than it. And if you want, I'll just kind of go through it real quick.
Sure.
What happened? The month began, the last day of the month, I was in College Station on 28th to do men's basketball, but that was encompassed inside of the weekend where we saw one another down at Dyken Park in Houston. So it started off with the 3 games there. The one on Friday night, the 27th, for Texas against Coastal Carolina was baseball. It was easy drive up, as you know. It's only about 95 miles, whatever, from Houston up to College Station on Saturday. Did the men's basketball win over Texas A&M, and then turned around quickly and zipped back down and got back in time, obviously, for the Texas Baylor game Saturday night. Side note, for those of you who don't know, Tom Barfield, the loyal friend that he is, walks out of the ballpark with me across the street to where I'd hurriedly parked, where I had been booted. And Tom offered to stay, and I was like, no, I'll get him over here. I looked for the parking attendant, didn't see one, and by then it was the last game of the day. There were the gates were open, so I thought, oh, okay, and I had to get in a hurry to get in time to get on the air, so I did. It came out. There was a boot on the driver's side, front and rear, so I wasn't going anywhere until I paid the $160, whatever it was, for them to come over and take the boots off. So they did. And so that was March 1st. That was the 28th, that night. And then the next day, March 1st, which was, 1 month ago today, was the Sunday game against Ohio State. So I go home on Sunday, and then on Tuesday, the 3rd, I think it was, Tuesday the 3rd, I had a home baseball game. So we had a home baseball game. I called that for Texas. The next morning, Wednesday the 4th, I fly up to Fayetteville, Arkansas. I actually fly into Tulsa. Our mutual friend Dave Garrett was producing for us that night because Cameron Parker, my regular producer engineer, had left early with the Texas women. They head to Greenville, South Carolina for the SEC women's tournament, where I would join them if they got to the finals. So I get up to Arkansas, call the basketball game against Arkansas. I come back, and then toward the end of the week, we had Texas at home against USC Upstate. I do the Friday game. I do the Saturday game. I zip over to Moody and do the men's basketball regular season finale against Oklahoma that night. So this is what, March the 8th, I guess it is by then. And then the next morning, Sunday, the 9th, I'm out on a 6 a.m. flight to Greenville, South Carolina, called the championship game of the SEC women's tournament, which Texas won. I come back on the charter with them, and then I come home and I do one game. I think on Tuesday I fly up to Nashville, where the Longhorn men were playing in the SEC tournament. They lose their first game against Ole Miss, so they go home, but I stay because the SEC radio network had asked if I would work the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the championship. So I did. I did the 2 evening games in the quarterfinals, both semifinal games, and the championship. Worked with Tony Delk, the former Kentucky All-American, and that was a lot of fun, and did that. I go to the airport Sunday afternoon. The SEC men's championship game was at noon, so easy. I had a 5:30 flight. I'll get back, maybe see a little bit of selection show before I have to get on the plane to come home. So I get to the airport. We're 30 minutes from boarding, and they cancel the flight. So and so I'm not going to be able to get out till the next morning. So I quickly, in a span of about 40 minutes, I scramble. I get a hotel room near the airport. I get an Uber over there, and I get in my hotel room just in time to turn on the Selection Sunday show. So that worked out anyway. And I watched the Selection Sunday show, and obviously Texas was right on the bubble with the men, and they get in and find out they're going to have the first 4 in Dayton. So in my mind, I know I can't get out till the next morning. I also know, because the Longhorn men are going to play on Tuesday, that charter is going to leave on Monday. So I better make sure I get back in time. So the next morning, I'm up there at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch a 6 a.m. flight. That flight gets canceled. So now I know I'm not going to make the charter. So I let everyone know, and the UT travel office. So they set up for me to fly day of the game. So I fly home. I get home by Monday afternoon. I actually get to go to my house one night at my house and do some laundry. The next morning, I have a 6 a.m. flight up to DFW and then go. And then no. I misspoke. I actually, in order to get me up to DFW, South by Southwest is going on in Austin. No flights available out of Austin. So they rent me a car. I drive the car up to DFW. I leave the house about 3:30 in the morning. I drive the car to DFW. I drop off the car, and then I catch an 8 a.m. nonstop to Dayton. Land in Dayton, make it over the hotel. No trouble with that. Get over the arena, call the game, goes down to the final seconds. Tremont Mark hits the game winner, so Texas wins. So now we know the team is headed to Portland. So they had told everybody, pack your bags before. We're either going home or we're going to Portland. And so since they won, and by everybody, I mean the players, the coaches, the staff, training staff, medical staff, as well as the band, Texas Cheer, Texas Palm. We're all on one plane flight, as you know, at that time of year, the way the NCAA travel works, because they're the ones who book it all, which also explains the problems that you have. We get over to the Dayton airport. There's supposed to be a plane waiting for us. There isn't. It had just taken off from Miami. We wait in a hangar for close to 3 hours. The plane lands, and then they get, and I remember Sean Miller, the Texas coach, asking the NCAA rep, he said, there were only 2 teams that were playing that would have to travel to a site tonight. One of those was Howard, which won its game and was going to Buffalo, and they had a plane for them. We're going to Portland, and there's no plane there, and had to wait for 3 hours. We take off at 3:30 in the morning Eastern time, land in Portland at 5:15 a.m. Pacific time. Get to the airport or get to the hotel. Guys sleep for about 3 hours or so. Get up, got to go to the arena, got press conference, open practice day, go through all that stuff, get a little more sleep. on Wednesday night. And so then Thursday they go out and they're playing BYU, the 6th seed. Well, they go out, they play very well. They're clutch down the stretch and they win the game. So they've got a day off, but I know that I have to get back because the women have their first round game at home against Missouri State. So I go straight to the airport after them. I catch a red eye. So the red eye gets me back to Austin about by the time I go through DFW, about 8:00 in the morning on Friday. I go to the house, change clothes, dropped off. Then I go to Moody Center, call the women's first round game. When the game is over, I go straight back to the airport because I'm supposed to be out on a 6:30 flight to get me back to Portland by 11 o'clock local time. That flight gets canceled. So I go back home, back to the house. They had rebooked me on a flight. I was going to leave at 7 in the morning. And I don't live right by the airport. As you know, I live on the far north edge of Georgetown. You can throw a rock from my house and land it in Gerald. So I go back to the house, sleep for a few hours, get up, and then go back to the airport. I'm out on a nonstop the next day from Austin to Portland, back to Portland, land in plenty of time, get back to my hotel room, able to shower and change and all that stuff, go to the arena, call that game. Texas upsets Gonzaga. Now they're on to the Sweet 16, but we all know there's a flight going back to Austin supposedly late that night. It was supposed to leave about 7:30, and it actually ended up leaving about 10:15 and counting the time change. We land back in Austin, and it's 4:00 in the morning. We go back to the house, sleep for a little bit, shower change, go back to Moody Center and do the women's second round game against Oregon. So that happens. Do that. We get to Monday, and there's actually a regular day. Not much happens. I do my show and all that stuff. Tuesday, fly to San Jose with the men. They play on Thursday. So Wednesday's a regular day with press conferences. They play Thursday, lose a heartbreaker on a tip in at the buzzer. So their season's over. I get on the plane with them. We charter back. Oh, we don't leave after the game like they had requested. Don't get to leave until Friday morning. Now, the plan was for me to do the Friday night baseball game against Oklahoma. But because it left so late on Friday, I knew I wasn't going to make it in time. So I had Roger Wallace step in for me to call the baseball game with Keith Moreland. We land about 5:30 in the afternoon. I get in my truck. I drive to the house. I pick up Linda. We drive straight to Fort Worth. I get there late Friday night. The women play Saturday. They win. We actually had a regular day Sunday. I got to see my grandkids, my 6-year-old granddaughter's birthday, my 8-year-old's grandson's select baseball game. So it was a great day Sunday. And then Monday, they play Monday night. They win that, win the Elite Eight game to go to the Final Four. We drive back home Monday night. We get back a little after midnight. And then yesterday, I had to be back on the charter flight with the women. They came out here. And I know people say, why are they going out 3 days early? NCAA. They want them there for all kinds of social media stuff and ESPN and all that stuff. And I'm like you, Tom. I'm just along for the ride. So, get on the charter and come back out here. The nice thing is that there isn't too much for me to do between now and tomorrow afternoon. So that's why we're going to go to the baseball game today. But otherwise, that's it. So that's what the month of March has been like. Obviously, it'll ratchet down. Roger Wallace has been great being able to sub for me. He's on the team charter today with baseball with Keith Moreland. They're going to Columbia, South Carolina for a weekend series at South Carolina. So Linda asks me, she goes, now after all this is done in the women's Final Four, you're home for a while, right? I said, well, home is a relative term. Next weekend, baseball plays Texas A&M in College Station. The return of Jim Schlossnagle to College Station. So that should be an adventure. Then they're home. Then it's Nashville. Then they're home. Then it's Knoxville, and then they're home after that. So it's that time of year, as you know.
Absolutely. I mean, heck, my next trip's not till next week when we're going to Cincinnati to take on Cincinnati. So I'm not feeling sorry for myself now after listening to that. Talk a little bit about the game, UCLA. I mean, we all knew that Texas was going to have a good basketball team, that Vic was going to have a really good team. Did you feel like when the season started that it was going to be this good?
It's really weird. It's gone through a couple of stages. at the start of the year, I certainly felt that way. And they went out to Las Vegas, won a tournament out there. I wasn't, Roger filled in for me on that in Las Vegas. I had to go to Maui with the men's tournament out in Maui. And they beat on back-to-back nights UCLA and South Carolina, two of the other teams in the Final Four. In fact, all 4 number 1 seeds are in the Final Four 2 years in a row. Same 4: UConn, UCLA, Texas, South Carolina. Those 4 were in Tampa last year. Those 4 back, slightly different order. UConn was not the number 1 seed last year, and South Carolina was. And the UConn, of course, looks incredible right now. But Texas looked really good for a while. They had a couple of tough losses in conference play, one at LSU and one at South Carolina. They lost by 5 at LSU, and they lost by 3 at South Carolina. Well, they were still going along pretty good. They get to Vanderbilt in mid-February, and they looked awful. And Vanderbilt was really good and got to the Sweet 16 this year. And it was a perfect storm, and they have an All-American in Michaela Blakes. They play great. They beat Texas by 16 points. And everybody remembers that was when Vic Schaefer kind of went off on the team in the news conference and talked about how soft they were and didn't have heart. It shocked some people. Mm-hmm. But the team kind of rededicated itself at that point. And they've looked really good ever since. And when I saw them dominate South Carolina and Greenville in the SEC championship, then I was like, okay, this team's going to be really difficult to beat all the way until they get up to Phoenix. And they've lived the part all the way through. So I did at the start. I wondered a bit in midseason, not wondering now, but the field is exponentially more difficult than what they've faced to this point.
What, and I know this is a pretty generic question, but what has Madison Booker meant to this team, particularly in postseason?
That one superstar capability to be able to take over a game and do the things that she's done, and that's why she was the outstanding player in the Fort Worth Regional. But she'll be the first to tell you, players like Rory Harmon, who had 13 assists the other night. Jordan Lee was great from 3 on Saturday, not on Monday, but her defense was really, really good. And then the 2 post players they have, in Brea Cunningham and Kyla Oldacre, combined, I think the combined total was like 23 points and 18 rebounds. And so they dominated inside. And those 2 are going to have to play well on Friday night because UCLA has the best post player in the country and maybe the national player of the year in Lauren Betts. It's going to be really difficult, a difficult time. They did a good job against her the first time when they beat UCLA. I think they limited her to 8 points, but the guards weren't playing as well for UCLA back then as they are now. Kiki Rice is playing tremendously for the Bruins. And so the Longhorn guards are going to have to play very well in order to enable the post players to hold their own against Lauren Betts.
End of the day, is it an all SEC final?
No, I don't think so. I do think Texas can win. I don't know who's going to beat UConn. I really don't. I don't think South Carolina is going to beat them. And whoever wins the Texas UCLA game is going to have a really hard time. They are that far out in front, I think, of the others. And the collective 4 are that far out in front of the rest of the field, I think. Yeah. But UConn is playing at an unbelievable level. Can they be beaten? Yeah, they can. But whoever faces them on Sunday afternoon, on Easter Sunday, is going to have to play at the top of its game, and UConn's going to have to be a little bit off its game in order for whatever team. I do think Texas can beat them. I think UCLA can beat them. But and maybe South Carolina can. Maybe they catch them off guard in the Friday. But whoever plays them is going to have to play really, really well to beat UConn in the championship.
Hey, thanks. I know you're busy. I appreciate your time. Enjoy Phoenix, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being on the show.
Anytime, Tom. You know I'd enjoy it.
Talk to you soon. That is the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Lark, I started sweating over here when he was talking about his month of March. My goodness.
I don't know
that either. But that's nothing unusual for him.
Yeah, he's been doing it for forever. Yeah. From the first time I met him, I've labeled him the hardest working man in radio.
Yeah,
I mean, he's nonstop. He's perpetual motion, and it doesn't matter what time of day or night. He's always upbeat, a very likable guy, always very joyous. But you can tell from his schedule that he doesn't have a normal sleep schedule.
No. I've seen him, and this is the truth. I've seen him do a fly out to California, Cal State Fullerton, broadcast a Friday night baseball game, get on a red eye, fly back to Austin, broadcast a basketball game, get back on another flight, and fly back out to Cal State Fullerton to broadcast the Sunday baseball game. I have seen it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the world are you drinking?
Again, he's the hardest working man in radio.
Anyway, a lot of fun talking with Craig, catching up with Craig. We didn't even get into the UIL stuff, and I wanted to dive into all that, but maybe we'll get him back on the show and talk UIL stuff. He brought up Greg Tepper, who's our good friend over at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So we'll get him back on the show. I know that he and Tep do a lot of stuff together, and in fact, they do some of the state championship football games together. So keep that in mind. So we'll get him back on the show. We got a long summer without any collegiate and high school stuff. So we'll do a lot of fun stuff during the summer on the show. Hey, we're brought to you in part by Benchmark Construction. David and his team over there do a wonderful job at Benchmark, specializing in disaster recovery, construction, environmental remediation, and indoor air quality solutions. They can help you with all of those things. Look, man, if you want to build a new facility, they can help you. You want to do a remodel, they can help you. Heaven forbid, but if you have some water damage or something happens or weather related and you need that, they can take care of you there as well. It's a one-stop shop. They're right here in Waco. And they just kind of go about their business. I say, Lark, they fly under the radar a lot, but they help a lot of people. They do a lot of things, and they're not out there seeking credit for it. You know, hey, look at us. We're sponsoring this. They don't do it that way. They just go about helping people and from the business side and from a just helping out, nonprofit organizations. They do that as well and just kind of do it low key. I mean, I know that they help a group called The Hangar, which is a day shelter here in town. So great people. It is it's our good friends over there. Check them out at Benchmark Construction. It's benchmarkc3.com. You can learn more there, benchmarkc3.com. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll check some scores and do some more fun stuff. We'll do that when we continue here on the program.
When disaster strikes, you need a team you can trust. At Benchmark, we specialize in disaster recovery, construction, environmental remediation, and indoor air quality solutions. With over 30 years of experience, our experts provide forensic architecture, engineering, and environmental consulting to ensure every project is handled with precision and care. From damage assessment to full reconstruction, Benchmark delivers technical expertise and an unmatched client experience every step of the way. Visit benchmarkc3.com to learn more.
At Waco Bodyman Company, we help you take control of your health with advanced wellness and longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. Experience the power of red light therapy with our full body bed design to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, support skin health, and recharge your body at the cellular level. Step into our hydrotherapy room featuring a dry sauna, polar shower, and hot tub. Book your tour today. Waco Bodyman, open 7 days a week in downtown Waco.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check him out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Is your roof ready for the next Texas storm? Don't wait for a small leak to become a big problem. Call JK Roofing of Waco. Whether you need roof repair, a full replacement, or a professional inspection, JK Roofing has quality workmanship and dependable service you can count on. Locally owned and committed to protecting Central Texas homes and businesses. Call JK Roofing today for your free estimate and get the job done right the first time. Call JK Roofing 254-744-2211. JK Roofing of Waco. Strong roofs, honest work, and peace of mind.
We're brought to you in part by Waco Body Men. And man, at Waco Body Men, they can help you with advanced wellness, longevity solutions, and it's designed to help you and your body perform better, recover better, and thrive. Check them out today at wacobodymen.com, wacobodymen.com. You know what? Call Thomas Wenzel over there. They're right off of Mary Street, and Thomas and his team will walk you through the facility and kind of give you some guidance on what the facility is all about, how it can serve you in your wellness. So I look forward to getting down there. I mean, I've been trying to get down there, but with my schedule, it's kind of crazy. You almost have to just, make time for yourself. And that's what Waco Body Mend's all about. WacoBodyMend.com. Check them out today. Thanks to Todd Behringer and to Thomas Winslow and the entire team at Waco Body Mend for being a part of our program. All right, Lark, we've mentioned some of the stuff that went on. I know there was a lot of high school stuff going on. There were some great games played last night. A lot of good stuff. Soccer that we mentioned at the top of the show.
Right.
You've got a full docket over there.
I do to some degree. Yesterday we talked about junior college basketball and how Howard had won the men's side.
Right.
Well, the women's title game was last night.
Yeah.
New Mexico playing Eastern Arizona. Eastern Arizona comes out on top 57-51 in that one. Let's see. High school softball yesterday. The Midway Panthers defeat Shoemaker 13-2. Conley played a doubleheader against La Vega, won both of them big, 19-3 and 20-5.
Okay.
You had China Spring taking on Lorena in softball. The Cougars win 10-4. Robinson over Gatesville, 19-6. McGregor beat Clifton, 17-6. It was Troy over Whitney, 12-2. Valley Mills shut out Bruce Villetti 15-0, and Crawford shut out Moody 4-0. Over in high school baseball yesterday, University Trojans hosted Belton. Belton came out on top 4-2. China Spring taking on Lorena, and a 12-6 winner there for the Cougars. You also had Moody defeating Aquila in a close game. I'll take that back. It was Aquila winning 5-4 over Moody, and Bosqueville defeated Lipan 10-0. What's Lipan doing playing baseball? I thought that was a basketball.
That's
school.
a basketball program. Yeah, you're right. Didn't they win the state?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. I thought so.
Let's see. What else did we have yesterday? Baylor softball, Incarnate
Well, hang
Word.
on. I'm going to give you one more baseball score.
Oh, yeah?
It was Robinson over Gatesville 8-0, and China Spring beat Lorena in high school baseball. Those are kind of the four that have kind of separated themselves in that district.
Right.
And those four teams. So that was a big win for Chris Clemens' Robinson Rocket team on the road. I believe they were in Gatesville last night.
I think so.
And then tomorrow night they'll host. And again, Corey Beckham's team gets a big win over Lorena. Speaking of Corey Beckham, he'll be on the show, I think, a little later this week. Maybe tomorrow. No, maybe
Friday,
Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. But Corey's going to be on the program to talk Cougar baseball.
On the schedule.
Yep.
All right. Baylor softball hosting Incarnate Word yesterday. Comes out 11-9 winners. We mentioned Baylor baseball losing to Tarleton 5-1. TCU beat Lamar 8-3. And SEC baseball yesterday, it was 8-6 was the final. TCU over Lamar. Texas A&M hosted Sam Houston, wins 16-2, and the Texas Longhorns were playing Texas State at home last night. Longhorns come out on top by a score 10-8.
I'm going to ask a question.
So
last night, not one, and Baylor's done it. They played Kansas State. So what do you think about conference opponents playing non-conference games? We had two that took place last night. I kind of like it. I think it's an RPI game.
Yeah.
It strengthens your RPI. But we had two games last night where I think it was Kansas State and BYU played last night. West Virginia stayed over. They played Arizona State, so they stayed over and played Arizona in a non-conference.
Yeah,
game.
I saw that. I went, what in the world is West Virginia doing playing Arizona in the middle of the week like this? Then I went back and saw, okay, they played Arizona State over the weekend, so they just stayed out there.
And the Sunday game was a national television game, and it didn't start till like 7 or 8 o'clock Sunday night.
Wow.
So you're not going back to Morgantown, West Virginia anytime soon.
No.
So they stayed over and played.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
And they played a night game in Tucson.
Yeah, no, I think it's okay to play those conference opponents, non-conference games.
Oklahoma used to play Oklahoma State when they were in the same league.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
They're not even, for us, when we were in the same conference with Texas and Texas A&M, when they were in the Big 12, it's 90 miles.
Yeah.
And it's a conference opponent. I would not mind playing TCU in non-conference
Well, I
play.
still think they need to do that.
You do or you don't?
I still think they need to do that right now. I think they should have Tuesday games with Texas and Texas A&M, home and home.
100%.
Oklahoma, Arkansas, they should play midweek games with those guys.
Well, Arkansas is a bit far. I mean, it's 7.5 hour bus ride. But,
okay. Okay, let's leave at least a non-conference series.
You could do a midweek. You could do it, if you play twice, Tuesday, Wednesday, or something like that. Anyway, I get your point. Yeah, I kind of like the old Southwest Conference matchups.
Sure.
I do. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
So, okay. I was just curious because, again, it happened twice in the league last night. And I went, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because you don't see it a lot. But when you're looking for non-conference games that are competitive for your ball club and can – actually help your RPI and your strength of schedule and all those type of things that the committee looks at when deciding, who's in and who's out at the end of the year, so there you go. All right, we're going to take a break right here. When we come back, we'll look ahead to the Thursday edition of the program. We're brought to you in part by Morrison's Gifts. Morrison's Gifts at 4312 West Waco Drive. That's the Brazos Square Shopping Center. They're right down from Jason's Deli. There's your landmark. Everybody knows where Jason's Deli is. Right down the strip center is Morrison's Gifts. That's where you go, guys, to buy Mother's Day, to buy Valentine's, to buy Christmas, to buy anniversary, to buy graduation. You don't want to shop, you want to buy, go see Sally. She'll take great care of you. She'll get a great gift for you in your budget and get you in and get you out in a, let me say it again, and get you out in a hurry. 4312 West Waco Drive. It's Morrison's Gifts. And we're back with more in just a moment. Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check him out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
At Waco Bodyman Company, we help you take control of your health with advanced wellness and longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. Experience the power of red light therapy with our full body bed design to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, support skin health, and recharge your body at the cellular level. Step into our hydrotherapy room featuring a dry sauna, polar shower, and hot tub. Book your tour today. Waco Bodyman, open 7 days a week in downtown Waco.
When disaster strikes, you need a team you can trust. At Benchmark, we specialize in disaster recovery, construction, environmental remediation, and indoor air quality solutions. With over 30 years of experience, our experts provide forensic architecture, engineering, and environmental consulting to ensure every project is handled with precision and care. From damage assessment to full reconstruction, Benchmark delivers technical expertise and an unmatched client experience every step of the way. Visit benchmarkc3.com to learn more.
Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple is your one-stop shop for custom window treatment, transforming your vision into reality. Choose from a selection of shades, blinds, shutters, and curtains. Bumblebee Blinds stands behind our service and products, ensuring peace of mind with our trusted warranty. Call Bumblebee Blinds today to schedule your design consultation. Bumblebee Blinds, simplifying window treatments one covering at a time. BumblebeeBlinds.com.
Today's program is brought to you in part by Jace and Katie Embry, the Embry family at JK Roofing. Whether it's a metal roof, whether it's a shingle roof, whether it's a full roof or a repair, they can take great care of you at JK Roofs. Check them out today, jkroofs.com. That's jkroofs.com. Also, if you want to give them a call and set up an appointment, they'd love to come out and visit with you, 254-744-2211. 254-744-2211. Lark, I love the fact that we have all these local folks involved in this local show. I mean, that's pretty cool as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, good stuff. All right, we got to get out of here. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. I know we're going to talk with Jones Mitchell from Lake Waco Golf, so that'll be a lot of fun. Look forward to that. And we're going to work on chipping. We're going to work on chipping, whether it's a bump and run or whether it's a flop shot. We'll work on chipping tomorrow on the program. Many thanks to everyone who's been a part of the show. Thanks to Craig Way. Thanks to Lark. I'm Tom. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.